Nothing could have prepared us for what happened in Bridgerton Season 4, Part 2. In just a few episodes, the world we thought we knew completely shattered. Death, betrayal, blackmail, vanishing characters, and shocking secrets collided, leaving every viewer gasping, rewinding, and questioning everything they thought they understood about this season. One moment, you're in a glittering ballroom. The next, someone you loved is gone forever. And just when you think it can't get any darker, the show throws yet another twist that no one, absolutely no one, was ready for. Brace yourself, because the fairy tale you thought you knew is gone, replaced with a chaos so intense, it's impossible to look away. Season 4, Part 2 doesn't ease you in. It slams the door on normalcy, and grief hits first. Jon Sterling, the steady, grounded presence we believed would anchor the season, is ripped from our screens in the quietest, most devastating way possible. He doesn't die in a blaze of drama. He doesn't fight a last battle, and there's no cinematic farewell. One moment, he's complaining about a headache. The next, he's gone, leaving Francesca to walk into that bedroom expecting a familiar routine, only to find silence. And the silence is deafening. The show deliberately chooses to withhold Jon's body, forcing us to experience death the way grief truly lands, unexpected, intimate, and raw. Every glance from Francesca, every step in that quiet room, tells you this isn't just a plot twist, it's a seismic emotional shift. The weight of loss hits slowly, settling in like a storm cloud, suffocating yet utterly captivating. What makes this moment even more gut-wrenching isn't just Jon's absence, it's the timing. Placing his death in episode 6 instead of the finale is a calculated cruelty. By now, viewers have witnessed Jon and Francesca build a life of quiet intimacy, moments of domestic calm that felt almost like magic. The puzzle scene, their gentle exchanges, the laughter in private corridors, it all amplifies the tragedy. We've spent hours watching trust, love, and hope flourish, only for the foundation to crumble beneath our feet. And the show doesn't give us a moment to recover. Francesca's false hope follows almost immediately, twisting the knife deeper. When she convinces herself she might be pregnant, it's not just wishful thinking, it's desperation. In that era, a pregnancy represented security, an heir, a tether to someone gone. She clings to that fragile lifeline, planning logistics and funerals obsessively, attempting to hold on to Jon in every conceivable way. And when the doctor confirms she isn't carrying his child, the world she tried to preserve shatters entirely. Her scream, her collapse with Violet, the rawness of that grief, it's a performance stripped of glamour, stripped of orchestral cues. It's just pain, and it's brilliant. We aren't just watching a character grieve, we're experiencing grief itself. Historically, social norms discouraged open displays of mourning, yet Francesca's breakdown feels authentic, personal, unavoidable. We've been lulled into the elegance of Mayfair's glittering balls, the delicate dance of etiquette, and then suddenly, nothing feels safe. This isn't a story about high society anymore. It's about what happens when that society fractures and the people inside it are left exposed. Jon's death sends ripples through every plotline that follows. Every character, every relationship, every whisper in the ton feels different because the emotional stakes are higher. The sense of security that Bridgerton usually offers has been pulled out from under us. And just when you think the heartbreak can't deepen, Sophie's arrest makes it clear that chaos isn't done yet. From ballrooms to prison cells, the season refuses to let you breathe. Sophie, the kind-hearted, resilient girl who has survived humiliation and societal snubs, suddenly finds herself behind bars for something that isn't even her crime. Diamond shoe clips, a symbol of betrayal that wasn't betrayal at all, become the catalyst for a harrowing display of power, resentment, and vengeance. Lady Araminta doesn't care about justice. She's operating from a place of bitterness so deep, it's almost primal. The shock isn't in the theft, it's in Sophie's abrupt removal from her world, forced into confinement where the trappings of luxury and privilege are meaningless. The imagery is stark, jarring, impossible to ignore, and in that moment, the fairy tale we clung to collapses entirely. But just as despair feels absolute, the story takes another sharp turn. Sophie's dowry, long stolen and manipulated by Araminta, reappears like a hidden dagger in plain sight. £18,000, structured by Lord Penwood to secure Sophie's future, was hers the entire time. The revelation is explosive, reshaping power dynamics and offering a glimmer of hope. Yet it isn't a simple victory. This isn't a world where redemption comes without consequence. The Queen's Ball, the confrontation, the sudden balance of leverage, it's chaos wrapped in silk and scandal. And just when you think Sophie's moment of triumph will anchor the narrative, the tension doesn't resolve. There's another story simmering in the background, another emotional bomb waiting to drop. Could anything truly prepare us for the next twist, the next betrayal, when even hope carries its own danger? Just when you think Sophie's story might reach a temporary calm, the season pivots sharply into one of the most morally complex and emotionally charged storylines of the entire series, Benedict's mistress proposal. At first glance, it reads like a solution, a clever way to navigate society's rigid class barriers. But the reality is devastating. Benedict isn't asking Sophie to be his equal partner. He's asking her to sacrifice everything that makes her human, her dignity, her safety, her legitimacy, and the right to a secure future. It's a historically accurate arrangement, yes, something that would have been common in the 1800s for a working-class woman and a gentleman, but the historical accuracy does nothing to soften the cruelty. In Sophie's eyes, this is not romance, it's survival under the guise of sophistication. And the heartbreak comes not just from her perspective, but from watching Benedict slowly awaken to the magnitude of the injustice he's proposing. The scene is devastating because it exposes the blind spots in even the most well-meaning characters. Benedict has always believed that love can transcend society, that intentions can outweigh reality. But the proposal strips away that illusion. The audience sees his shock, his growing awareness, and ultimately his horror at the imbalance of power he has asked Sophie to endure. And Sophie, calm, composed, yet visibly broken, calls him out with precision. She doesn't need to yell. She doesn't need theatrics. Every word cuts through the veneer of polite society, holding a mirror to the unfairness of the era and forcing both Benedict and the viewers to reckon with the moral cost of love in a world dominated by privilege. As if the emotional weight of the proposal weren't enough, the season juxtaposes it with moments of hope, teasing us with what could have been. Benedict is prepared to fight, to risk everything, but he must first understand what love truly requires: equality, sacrifice, and awareness of the consequences. The tension is palpable. Will he rise to meet Sophie on her terms, or will society's invisible chains dictate the outcome? Every glance, every pause in dialogue is loaded with anticipation, and the writers deliberately avoid giving immediate resolution, keeping the audience perched on the edge of despair and hope simultaneously. While Benedict's proposal tests the boundaries of social norms, the season simultaneously delivers another devastating emotional shock: the breakup between Violet and Marcus. We expected a wedding. The promise of love and stability for a long-standing couple had been teased across episodes, yet the show chooses reality over fantasy. Violet, devastated by Jon's death, begins to confront the limitations of her identity outside of marriage and motherhood. Marcus, yearning for stability and societal expectation, clashes with her desire for freedom and rediscovery. Their split is quiet but profound, a heartbreaking acknowledgement that love alone cannot always reconcile two very different futures. It's a mature, unsettling narrative choice, one that challenges the audience's expectations and makes us question the conventional storytelling of older characters in a romanticized world. And while the heartache and societal constraints dominate, the series reminds us that chaos is never contained to a single storyline. Michaela's sudden disappearance from London is a gut punch of narrative unpredictability. After gradually forming a bond with Francesca in the wake of Jon's death, sharing intimate moments of grief and vulnerability, Michaela vanishes without warning. Bags packed, carriage rolling away, and a lingering look that conveys regret, sorrow, and unresolved tension. Michaela's exit leaves the audience suspended, questioning the implications for Francesca, for the larger narrative, and for the threads of mystery that are far from tied up. In just these episodes, the season illustrates a world in flux. Nothing is stable. Love, grief, betrayal, and societal rules collide in unpredictable